Hi, and welcome to Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at the plans by the Socialist Government in Wales to remove the rights of sexual education from parents, handing it to teachers so that they can introduce these subjects of sexual orientation, sexual attraction, and gender identity to children as young as 3. What is it about the socialist movement that seems obsessed with sexualising children, that seems obsessed with the destruction and breakup of families, and seems obsessed with trying to get hold of your children for their needs and their agendas? They sound like a dangerous lot, and it's not just this time. If you look back, it's continual. The attacks on families and the sexualisation of children is rife among socialism. Is it a breeding ground for people who should on no account ever be allowed near children? I think everyone in the Welsh Government needs to have their hard drives inspected. But I will put myself in the corner and we will look at this article and discuss these disgusting people. Here we go. So the headline there says it all. More than 5,000 parents go to war with the Welsh Government over plans to teach children as young as 3 about sexual attraction and gender identity. Parents are suing the Welsh Government over compulsory, that's the thing, compulsory sex education plans. They're not allowing parents to decide, they're removing the right from parents without any kind of consultation. They are dictating that they will tell your children what they deem it to be necessary. They're not letting you, as a parent, make that choice. That's socialism for you, though. Religion, sex, and gender would be embedded in day-to-day teaching for students. Whoa, why is a school teaching religion? The religion should not be taught in schools. Religion is a personal, private matter. It's a family matter. I am an atheist. I have no dog in this fight. I choose to believe that we live and then we die and there is oblivion. Doesn't make me immoral. Doesn't make me a bad person. I can have morals without religion. My morals are based on human decency, not on a space pixie. But it shouldn't be up for the teachers to teach this. This is up to the parents. And ditto, sex and gender and discussions of that matter should be decided by the parents at what the parents would deem to be an appropriate age, not what the socialists deem. And why are the socialists removing powers, rights and options from parents? It's because socialism doesn't like families. Because families have more loyalty to each other than they do to the state, and socialism hates that. Anyway, continuing. 4 mothers have taken action representing 5,000 parents and grandparents. Parents are suing the Welsh Government over plans to force children as young as 3 to learn about sex and gender identity. 4 mothers, representing more than 5,000 parents and grandparents, have started legal action to overturn a proposal by the Labour-led administration. Of course it was Labour-led administration. No one else would bring this kind of crap in. To make religious and sex education lessons compulsory. Ministers insist the new curriculum will also see themes of religion, sex and gender embedded in day-to-day teaching, was developmentally appropriate for children, but campaigners say the topics are inappropriate for primary pupils. Kim Ishwood, 39, who chairs the campaign group Public Child Protection Wales, said, "It's dangerous and it absolutely infuriates me. I've always fought for children's rights, but they're removing my right to protect." And that's what I say, they're removing rights from people without any kind of consultation or without any kind of mandate. The mother of 2 from Port Talbot added, "This new curriculum is not like the standalone RSE lessons that pupils and parents are used to. The new mandatory element also means every child aged 3 to 16 must take part. It cannot be avoided by anyone, and there are no rights for parents to request information on what will be taught at what age or to ask that their child sit out. This is a dictatorship. This is a communist dictatorship where the state will say, we will tell you what we are going to do to your children. You have no rights, you have no say, and you will obey or you'll be breaking the law. This is what you vote for when you vote for socialism. The guidance includes the notion that pupils explore sexual attraction and not just the biology of having sex. These kids are going to be 3. It says learners can explore how relationships, sex, gender, romantic and sexual attraction and personal experiences may shape and inform a person's identity and individuality, and how and why attitudes have changed and are changing, including towards gender and sexual diversity. These guys want to bring the big P into the LGBTQIRXWSMOUSE. It's the normalcy of the P's. They're normalising it. They're after your children. Anyway, here's the leaflet that Child Protection Wales are issuing. Say no to RSE. RSE is the new sex education brought to you by the Welsh Government. RSE from age 3. No parental opt-out. Co-constructed by UNESCO, which is a Marxist part of... If everything's Marxist, it's bloody UNESCO. UNESCO is a global sex education. UNESCO has history. UNESCO has been evaluated at 87% failure. Lucia Thomas, 41, said, "The very first time I heard anything about sex education coming in for children as young as 3, my heart skipped a beat and my stomach churned." That's because Lucia Thomas is a decent, normal human being and is not a child sex-obsessed socialist. School is a place to learn about vital biology, learn how to develop relationships with both sexes, and to develop respect. But as parents, we believe what is happening here is the sexualisation of children, not their education. The parents have instructed international human rights barrister Paul Diamond to represent them, and legal papers have been filed at the High Court in Cardiff. In England, the rollout of sex education in primary schools is also set to go ahead, but parents will be able to withdraw their children from sex education classes until the age of 15. I think 15 is probably too old. This is just on the personal aside. I think it could be a slow phase in, maybe from, say, I'd say 11. So you're in senior school, high school, secondary school, call it what you will. I think you could do basic biology from year 11, just simply sort of the nuts and bolts of sperm and egg combining, nothing too detailed, but just to lay a groundwork as part of a biology lesson. You can do from 12, you can do more, should we say, intimate knowledge. 13, you start talking about relationships. 14, you start talking about gender identity. I accept that they have to be taught. I accept that they can be learning. I think, that's the sort of age group you'll be looking at. They're growing, they're maturing, they're getting to a point where they can handle it. 3, no, that's grooming. When you're talking to 3-year-olds about sexual matters, that's grooming. Last night, a spokesperson for the Welsh Government said groups including the NSPCC and Welsh Children's Commissioner's Office supported the plans, adding it is completely untrue to suggest we are sexualising children. No, you're grooming them. If you're talking to 3-year-olds about sex, you're grooming them. As part of the new curriculum, all pupils in Wales will have full access to high-quality relationships and sexuality education designed to safeguard them and, in time, support them to navigate the complex area of relationships and sexuality. That's the job of the parent. That's not the job of Marxists. That's not the job of child-obsessed socialists. Last night, the Mail on Sunday revealed that almost 1 in 15 pupils at a leading secondary school identifies as transgender or non-binary. And that, my dear friends, is bullshit. Because there is no way 1 in 15 are transgender or non-binary. No way. This is peer pressure. This is pressure from trans groups. This is the media. It is also completely and utter tripe. More than 60 youngsters at the school, which has about 1,000 students on its roll, have declared their gender to be different from their birth sex or do not identify as either male or female. No, it's just typical teenagers trying to be special. Oh, look at me, I'm special because I've got an empty, meaningless life. If I do this, my life will improve. Getting back to the piece about this, the majority have done so since COVID-19 lockdown restrictions were lifted last summer, raising concern about the impact of online trans influencers. These kids are sitting at home online and it's like, hey kids, do this, hey, do this, do this. And that's what it is. And it's the trans lobby getting their hands on children because the trans lobby like children as well. They want to get them in young. Honestly, they all need their hard drives expected. A teacher said the pupils involved were aged between 11 and 18, almost all were girls and most identified as non-binary. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it, how when kids are locked up and they've only got online and the trans are on there grooming these kids. Dangerous people. While the school tells parents if a pupil asks to go by a different name or pronoun, staff were blundering along in the dark without government guidance. They don't need government guidance. They need to listen to the parents. It's parents' guidance is all that matters. The government have no right to tell you how to raise your children. I'm going to say, parents, you need to stand up for this because the government will have your children off you like that. The revelation comes days after Education Secretary Nadeem Zahawi said officials were drawing up clear guidance on how teachers should deal with trans pupils. Yes, basically just ignore them. Emphasising the need for guidance, Tory MP Miriam Cates, God bless her, said the Department for Education needs to produce very clear, very detailed guidance about what schools should do about pupils who say they are trans and non-binary. Ms Cates, who has called for an inquiry into the spread of gender ideology in schools, added, they need to make sure schools understand that when a child claims to be trans or non-binary, they need to be safeguarded in the same way as children who may have anorexia. Indeed, just because a child says it doesn't make it so. And Miss Cates, she stands up for this. She is very sceptical. She's very fact-oriented. She questions it. She stands up for children's rights. And it's amazing what one woman can do because I've seen videos of her. One of my viewers, and you know who you are, thank you, sent me a link to a video of Miriam Cates. I watched her. I thought I was very impressed. Let's put it that way. I was very impressed by her well thought out, well reasoned, well argumented points, and I've sort of taken an interest in what she does, and I'm following her. She's very good at what she does. I wholeheartedly recommend that you too go and watch her. I'll put a link, I think, in the description. Please go and watch it. She's very good. Anyway, we'll drop that there. We'll stop that there, and I will come up and we will round the video off. So that is actually quite a worrying piece that this is being proposed and going through. And so for those women and families that are suing the Welsh Government, I wish them well in their endeavours and I hope they win. I really hope they win. They deserve to. You need to show the Welsh Government whose children they are because they don't belong to the state. It is up to the parents, and the parents have got that right and must have that right to address these matters as they see fit at an appropriate time that they judge to be appropriate. Well, lessons are learnt. We know now that you can never trust socialists with children. We know that predatory online groomers will target your children from quite a young age in the hope of turning them away from having any kind of normalcy in life into being weird and giving them mental illnesses. There are people out there that need their hard drives examined, people in authority that definitely need their hard drives examined. And you've got to take great care with your children because they want them. 3 is far too young. Anyway, I round that off now. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, and until next time, stay safe, stay well, and goodbye.